Okay, we are live. All right. Aloha, everyone. We are live and inspired today. I'm your host, Gregory Cobrana, also known on the YouTubes as Handsome Cobra. And I'm coming to you with something that's been on my mind a bit. I've kind of been going down this rabbit hole of this topic like yesterday and today. And I just have to say, it just really breaks your goddamn heart. When when doing like research and stuff about this topic, and I'm not trying to bury the lead or anything too much, but like I was doing research about, okay, because there's like a YouTuber that I watch, and I'm not gonna say their name or give them any type of credit or anything, but they were talking about how much rent that they have for their apartment. Also, too, they're married, so it's kind of like, and I know they both have two different. Him and his wife have two different incomes coming in, so I'm just like, okay. And they live in Burbank, California, so I'm just like, okay, that's fucking nuts. And this dude has like Patreon, and he has people giving super chats and all this craziness. And I was like, man, this guy's full of shit, right? When it comes to how much he said, that I can't remember the exact number, but he was talking about like how much 2 months rent would be. I'm like, man, you're full of shit. And so that kind of prompted me to be like, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of research into how much it is to actually like live in LA County and around the LA area, like Glendale or Compton, or outside, like uh, places where it would be like an hour drive to get into LA and stuff like that. And it's just been like this big rabbit hole. And the fact of the matter is that one of the fascinating things that I found out, that a lot of it has to deal with the well, at first, a lot of this first started with Reaganomics, when Ronald Reagan became president in, I believe, 1980 is when he took the Oval Office. And then I want to say 6 months into his term, he brought up uh, what is known as trickle down economics. If you're Ben Shapiro, he's going to try to um, say something about supplemental economics or something like that, which, as far as I know, it's two different arguments. But I mean, I respect Ben Shapiro, but I just can't really see. He just maybe he's just too smart and talks too fast for my ilk, you know. So, but yeah, so you have one part of that, and then the second part is having to deal with the housing crisis of 2008. Now, I was in the military when all this stuff happened, so I really didn't have a lot of knowledge about it. So, I mean, I knew it affected my family, um, some more than others, but um, I was overseas fighting a friggin' war, or wars, on two different war campaigns, Iraq and Afghanistan. So when all this happened, so it's like, for me, I was just like, well, I wasn't here living it, the housing crisis of 2008 and in the U.S. So for me, I wasn't affected by it, but that's one thing that just like really affected people, and especially people in like LA, and let's just say the West Coast, California, just in general, especially SoCal, Southern California, where they saw after develop. So after the market crashed, you had these mega corporations or conglomerates coming in and buying up property, because if you're not hip to it, let me tell you something. Property, and especially property in the U.S., is like, you want to hold on to that. You don't want to give that up. That is a good capital. That is, it's always going to be an investment, especially in a place like West California, especially in close to Hollywood. Closer you are to Hollywood, a lot of people, for a lot of folks, the better. And so you have these mega corporations basically coming in with cash in hand, or having the liquid capital of cash, where they can actually buy this property. They don't have to take out a fucking loan. They're not doing any of this crazy shit. They just, bada bing, bada boom. Here's $1 million fucking dollars, cash. And you're like, okay, and then they get it. And then what they do, they gentrify it and invest in it. And then they make it to where then instead of making affordable housing, they make ungodly amount of housing, very expensive for to attract a bigger clientele and stuff like that, to basically raise the property and the equity of the surrounding and stuff like that. Because basically, business people, they're not there to make back their money. They're there to make profit. Their money back, and like tenfold, or 100-fold. I mean, they're not. I mean, it's like you're only. I mean, in business, it doesn't matter what you deserve or what you think you deserve. It matters what you negotiate on your contract. That's what you're entitled to. And that's a shrewd business model. I don't really believe in it, but it's one thing that I've had to kind of dig in heels and take that advice and run with it myself on a couple of negotiations. Even though I strongly believed in my potential and in my background and things like that, but it was just one of those things where it's like I had to basically be like, no, it's like, even though a person may be deserving or has the merit, if they don't negotiate that on the contract, and they don't, then you're not entitled to it, unfortunately. And that's where that comes into play. So what I'm talking about is homelessness, and things of that ilk, especially on the West Coast, because you see places like, I knew like places like San Francisco and stuff, and I've been out to the West Coast too for a minute, for a while. I mean, I've lived out there, and but now, I mean, it's like it's fucking bad. Once again, I mean, being in the military, you don't really see a lot of that shit, or you don't pay attention because you're fucking going back to post, man. It's like, or you're getting deployed, or you're going to get orders to get fucking deployed, or you training, or you doing whatever, you try and spend time with your girl or your wife and kids, or whatever, or your boyfriend, or your significant other. You're not thinking about the homeless population and what can we do to solve it, type shit. You're worried about the motherfuckers to your left and your right. You're tended to intersecting fucking sectors of fire and making sure that they're good, and hopefully they're making sure that you're good too. So you're not really, your head's not in the civilian game, for lack of a better term. So, but yeah, it really, and that right there, having these mega corporations come in and just and basically, and also too, having no cap on their rent. So What I mean by that is that okay, so this mega corporation can come in. Now leases are usually like 6 months. Some are 6 months, some are a year. Usually they're like a year. I mean, some would be 6 months. I mean, depending on situations and stuff like that. I mean, but in LA and around the LA area, it's month to month now. A lot of places. And the thing is that in a lot of places there's no cap. It's not rent controlled, meaning. Now, some places are, some places aren't, but it's just one of those things where if a place isn't rent controlled, it's like 1 month you're paying, let's say, for like a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm not talking about a studio, just a regular 1-bedroom apartment. You're paying $750. Next thing you're paying, next thing your rent gets jacked up to like $1,100. And now you're like, okay, I'm only going to have enough money. And like, let's say you work 2 jobs, or you work a 40-hour job, but that's not enough, right? It's not enough for a healthy equality of life, because you have enough money to pay your rent the next month, but you don't have enough money for if you were to get sick, you can't, or if you needed gas money, if you have a car out there, if you food, any other, you can't take a date out, you can't go out. You're just kind of like living paycheck to pay, like literally you're surviving. You're not even living at that point. You're just fucking surviving. Which to me, it's like, honestly, no one should have to do. If you live in America, you shouldn't have to do it. Survive? No. It's like we're the largest first world nation. We're the largest nation in the world. The leading, right? Like if our fucking shit goes down, everyone else is fucked up. The Dow Jones, everything, man. I mean, everybody's money is tied in with ours, and yeah, it would be a bad fucking day because of how much the whole world's invested into the U.S. And it only takes like a few hundred people or some fucking dumbasses to basically who are just greedy and who just motherfuckers with those golden parachutes and shit like that. It's like they will never spend that much money in their lifetime. But it's not about money for them. It's about power. It's about ego. It's about showing off. They're not satisfied with $100 million. They got to make $250 million. And then they've got to become fucking Bill Gates billionaire. It's like, yeah, they're just, doesn't matter how many G7s they got, man. They got to have the new improved fucking G8. The prototype shit. It's like, it does not matter to them. It's just materialistic possession. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. They could have it, obtain it, and then they just move on to the next thing. It's like the next. I mean, they're always chasing that fucking dragon. But it's in business. It's in It's not. I mean, that's their drug. Because instead of, and that's the bad thing about trickle down economics. So we'll get into that a little bit. Trickle down economics was a thing where it was a proposal by the President Ronald Reagan, that basically you give the smart people, the investors, money, like fucking Walmart, like people who invest in broadcasting or who invest in Colgate or Pepsi Cola or whatever, right? The people that are like already rich, you give them more money and you give them tax breaks, right? You give them more money and they will supply, you give them a bigger tax cut. And also too, you defund federal regulated things like AIDS research, because AIDS was a big thing. The AIDS epidemic was a big fucking thing back in the 80s. You deregulate Social Security. You deregulate, or I'm sorry, not deregulate, defund. Excuse me. You defund Social Security, you defund food stamps or WICA or whatever they call it, the bridge card if you're in Michigan. You take away social programs, federal social programs, you defund those as a way to save money, which is like, that's the dumbest thing, because if people are already struggling, now they're going to be struggling even more. And people can say, and I love this term, it's like, get a job, bum, get a job. I don't have a spare change for you. Get a job, vagrant. I don't want to see you around here. I'm calling the police. Let me tell you something about, man, calling police. Police can't really do jack or shit. I mean, they can, but they don't want to. You want to know why? Because if they lock a person up, they're just going to go, they're going to be put on probation. Yeah, you lock them up for about 24, 48 hours. They go see a judge, a pre-court judge. Pre-court judge going to tell them, okay, well, your residency is under a fucking bridge. And so, our prison population is already overcrowded, already we're already warehousing people. So yeah, you're going to be put on probation, and now you're going to have fines. And there ain't no fucking way that a homeless person can, if they can't afford a home, how the fuck they going to pay for court fees? And the next thing you know, they're just going to keep on piling up. They're going to be back into the system, and nothing's going to change. It's just this revolving door, this vicious cycle that, I mean, even police officers are just like, listen, look, man, it's like, I mean, police officers have discretion that they can use, and even they know, smart cops know that, yeah, man, that they have a job to do, but it's until things change, but it's not, but they can't do anything. This is a human rights act, right? It's a human rights act. It's not a protect the law act. What do you mean, like action? That's what I mean by act. So, I mean, yes, people may not like it. People who are some fat old white bitch who married into a wealthy family or is privileged enough to fucking be in a wealthy family may not fucking like it that you have Otto and fucking Matilda over here sharing a fucking tent right across where their dog shits, and she has to smell their poop buckets and urine buckets. And she's just like, get rid of them. NIMBY, not in my backyard. Just make them go away. They're disgusting. I'm rich, so I can be a total fucking bitch because I'm fucking privileged enough to not have to worry about this shit. And that's how it is, man. I mean, I've seen this shit, like literally on a fucking YouTube video where this dumbass white bitch who's just fat as fuck and just literally says some shit like this, and it's just like, are you fucking nuts, man? I mean, are you that fucking stupid in the head? I mean, are you really that fucking dunce? I mean, you just married, I mean, maybe you were hot back in the day, you got knocked up, and now you're just fat as fuck, because you're not willing to fucking work off them calories or whatever. But it's just one of those things, man, where it's so asinine that people act this way. Literally, people act this fucking way. And maybe people think the way I act is fucking stupid, but it's just kind of like, okay, I really don't care, but at least I give a shit about people, and I'm not trying. And yeah, if I could, and I'm not saying I have the fucking solutions here, okay, because I don't. I mean, yes, we need housing for them. Of course we do. Housing for the homeless, housing for veterans. Yes. Yes, there are people that have, yes, a lot of, there's a lot of homeless people that deal with mental illness plus drug addiction too. Some homeless people, they're just looking for the next high. Yeah. But that's not just because there's a few bad apples doesn't mean that the whole batch is spoiled. I mean, it's like, as far as I know, like to date, there's like 55,000 people in the LA County that are homeless. Just in LA County. I mean, back in like 2 years ago, it was 44,000. And a lot of the homeless people, they don't want to be homeless. They don't want to be. I mean, the problem with, and they even say on these documentaries, I mean, this is like done by CBS, by the Los Angeles Times. These documentaries have been done by, I think one was on, that I saw was Vice, talking about shelters. I mean, this is like real shit. You know, and at one time I thought about moving out to LA, you know, the LA area. You know, but fuck, man. I mean, I don't even think, I mean, hell, you know, I don't even think that I would survive. I think that I probably would maybe end up where these people are. I would probably say that it's probably be better to be homeless in San Francisco than or Santa Carla, you know, than in LA County. But yeah, it just breaks your goddamn heart, man. It just does, you know, especially if you know, like there was this one where I actually saw, like the actually interviewer was an actual person who grew up. He was of Asian descent. I don't know if he was Chinese, Korean, Japanese. I don't know. But he was of Asian descent. He actually grew up in LA. And he was going around and speaking with people, you know, about, like, listen, look, this ain't the LA. I mean, I grew up in LA, and it's just, we never had these high rises and shit in downtown LA 15 fucking years ago, you know, or 20 years ago. And when I grew up here, you know, you just see this whole, you look at downtown LA and and where the tent city is, Skid Row, right? There's a big fucking difference. I mean, even on Joe Rogan's podcast, he has talked about it multiple times about the homeless crisis and stuff like that. And a lot of it too, and I will say this, a lot of it I didn't think was real, because a lot of people, let me tell you something, a lot of people don't like to, if you're at a good place, you're going to say, oh yeah, this is fucking terrible, you don't want to come out here. No, because you don't want everybody to know, because the more people that come out there, the more your fucking like little island, your little private fucking Idaho is taken away, you know, and it's like, oh, I was the one who found this out, and now everybody else has come, and because you feel like you fucking own this territory, like, because it's like your secret, and now your secret is out, or being taken away from you, which is like, it was never yours to begin with. You just were fortunate to find it. Hooray! You know, it's not like you were fucking born there. You know, it's, you know, but so yeah, but the thing was is that, and so yeah, so you have this influx of people coming to LA, and people, and they don't give a fuck. I mean, on Joe Rogan's podcast, it's really funny. There is no shit. I think it was maybe 2-3 months ago, but there's 110,000 empty apartment or housing lots, single lots, emptied, because people can't fucking afford them to rent. 110,000 empty lots, empty units, empty lots, empty housing, because people can't afford to live in them. It's fucking ridiculous. And yeah, and the thing is too, is that yes, people can say, oh, well, there's a plan that's a 10-year plan for like a grant of like, I can't remember, like a $1 billion grant or some shit, or $100 million grant for 10 years. You know what's going to happen, man? Because that's great, that's fine. But if some politician doesn't agree with that shit and is like, oh well, I have a fucking great idea because I went to fucking college and I'm a politician and I know what's best for the American people. Well, way to cut money is basically all this housing that we're doing for the homeless people who don't really provide for the American economic growth and stimulating the American economy. Since they're takers, well, we're going to take back, and we're going to basically cut their funding. That's what's going to fucking happen. It's like this. I work construction a little bit, so I know how the construction game goes. Okay, so here's the thing. Construction people take their sweet ass fucking time. Usually because they're fat and fucking lazy. A lot of them. And the reason why is because, number one, they're getting either they're unionized or they have they have a contract. They're contracted out for this, right? And what happens is that basically, like, let's say that it doesn't take them as long as let's say that basically they're contracted to do this work. It's like okay, they got to make repairs to this bridge, and they want to expand the bridge as well. So that's going to take about 2 years. Okay, so they have this contract for 2 years basically to repair and expand the bridge. Well, they repair the bridge, but the expansion hasn't. They're like just started, literally expanding the fucking bridge, right? Or doing an overpass, to cut down on traffic. And they just started on it. Well, now they would have to go into overtime and stuff like that, and if they wanted to get it done proper, or they can renegotiate the contract, which, what do they do when they renegotiate a contract? Well, these money-grubbing fucking contractors jack up the price a lot of times. And then, what does the fucking city do? Well, they're like, okay, bye-bye, Mr. Contractor, fuck you, we're going to get somebody cheaper. And then so they go with the cheaper person. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They have no idea what the hell has been done. They don't even know they can't even start on this shit because they literally have to get the plans and find out what the fuck has been going on. So that's like 3 to 6 months right there of just wasted fucking time while you're paying these people to do this shit. And it's a revolving door because this shit happens again and again and again and again with new fucking contractors, because it's like, I'm not saying that you should stick with the fucking old contractor for more money. What I'm saying is that the motherfucking old contractor should have got let out of his fucking ass, her ass, their ass, whatever, not been fat fucking lazy stupid fucks, and just finished the fucking shit on time. That's what I'm saying. And if you violate that fucking contract, well, then that's on you, bitch. Because you're not just fucking the city, the county, the state, the fucking government. You're fucking your community too. Because that's what it is. It's all about community. It's about community policing community. That's what it should be about. It's like, listen, look, a lot of problems don't even need the fucking law involved. I mean, they could be a fucking supervisor for all I fucking care. I mean, they could be standing off this, Joe, Frank, and Bob could be like, yeah, we got this there, chief. You just fucking be here in case, the fucking fisticuffs start flying. But literally, we can have a civilized fucking conversation here and work out our differences like fucking adults. Do some adulting, for fuck's sake, like Bill Maher says. But a lot of people can't, because a lot of people want either retribution or restitutions for what they consider pain of their quality of life, which is just, their fucking American dream, living in their fucking high rise because they fucking married into money or whatever shit. I understand that. Yeah, some people, yeah, they work hard too, and I'm not saying that this qualifies for everybody. Yeah, I understand people go to fucking uh, school and shit. I'm educated. I have a fucking uh, I have a bachelor's degree, and I'm getting my master's. For fuck's sake. Yeah, okay. But does that make me better than some other person out on the fucking street who who has their high school diploma and probably went to college? I mean, I saw there was this one guy said that he got his high school diploma plus he graduated college. Which college? I have fucking no idea. But does it really fucking matter whether you went to Harvard or fucking or River fucking Side University? Doesn't matter. Education's an education. And and that's another thing too, is that the problem with our society is that basically you have, and I know this is going on another rant, but you have places where college back in my father's day was like $50 a class. Now, just your undergraduate is like $700 or $500. I know for mine, when I started at ETSU, it was like 250, 300. Man, by the time I finished up my fucking final classes, man, I was paying like 450 or some shit, 500. It's like I mean, my my master one class, one 3-hour credit class for my master's is over $1,700. $1,700, and I get no help. That is all me. That is on me. If I want to further my education, the military doesn't pay for my shit. They were like, hey, we gave you post 9/11 GI Bill. You bought into the Montgomery GI Bill. You paid into that shit, even though I haven't seen a fucking dime of that. Which that was some horror shit. Because at the end, I had to pick, post 9/11 or the Montgomery GI Bill, and post 9/11 was the better deal. So because I couldn't stack them. But anyways, I digress. So you have this shit. So yeah, and it's just jacking up. I mean, it's like it's the new institution of racketing, right? It's a new business model. Fucking universities. I mean, you're getting the same fucking education that my father did when he went to college. Ain't nothing fucking changed, except the more protesting, more bullshit on social media, and new technological ways that everyone can bitch, piss, and moan about how much their classes suck or whatever the fuck, or how much their professor is such a ditz. But at the end of the day, it's the same. It's still the same bread and butter, man. It's like that. There ain't nothing different. But the degree is the degree, diploma. Certification is certification. You know it or you don't know it. But who's getting richer? Universities. They don't need that fucking money. They don't. I mean, and that's just, and once again, I mean, people, and it's like people out in the West Coast. It's like, I've seen this, what really I just really got me, man, is really pulled at my heartstrings, because this lady was living in her Beamer, right? It was 2006, and when this was filmed, it was, I believe, like 2018 or 19. So it was like very, I think it was 2018, if I'm not mistaken. So like last year, so her car was like, what, 12 years old, and shit, maybe 13, going on 13. But she had a daughter with her, like an actual like teenage daughter. It was like in middle school, high school, living out of this fucking car. And because she could, because her rent got so jacked up that she couldn't afford to live, to afford housing there. And you know, and it was it kind of choked me up a bit because, you know, she was telling her daughter, it's like, hey, you know, you can only stay on the phone for 20 minutes. You know, so she could conserve battery life and stuff like that. And you know, it was heartbreaking. It broke my goddamn heart because is this what I went over, man, overseas to the Middle East, man, to do? I mean, you know, fuck me, you know, fuck my way of life, you know. But because I give God good goddamn about my way of life, you know. But seeing a family like that, you know, I think her husband passed away, if I'm not mistaken, too, you know, and you know, she saw, and the thing was, she was working a full time job, this lady, and then she was on Social Security disability as well because she has a chronic illness that she did not disclose. But when her job found out about that, they let her go. Maybe it was inevitable. Maybe they were gonna fire. They had to fire somebody, but you know, you know, you cut away the weakest link. You know, smallest bit of cancer. And you know, like she would do these side gigs for getting groceries for people and stuff like that, and she would earn money. You know, I think like one of them was like for the one that they showed was like for $26.05, if I'm not mistaken. And here I am, like, you know, you know, she has to provide for another kid. Her kid probably, you know, if people found out, you know, that her child actually lives like that, the kid's going to get harassed by other kids. She's going to get bullied. You know, I mean, they never said that, but you know, I know how fucking kids are, man. Bullies are bullies, and they will attack you because that's what they do. But I could just imagine that, you know, and I broke down, you know, I broke down. You know, I thought I cried all the tears I ever did in my life, but man, I don't know. It was just something inside of me, man. Just you know, I started just fucking crying because it was breaking my goddamn heart. You know, and I was just thinking to myself, is this really what I fought for? Is this what I seen brothers of mine die for overseas? Is this why I, you know, went to funerals of fallen soldiers, done funeral detail of fallen soldiers in my lifetime? Their sacrifices, my sacrifices. Is this what we sacrificed for? So people could be homeless, that they're not getting that American dream. You know, I say fuck our life. You know, I say fuck my life because I forfeited my freedoms a long time ago. You know, when I signed up. I mean, I'm pretty much going hell. I already know that. Ain't no way. I'm Catholic as fuck, but ain't no way saving my fucking soul. I'm too much of a sinner, and I don't want to be saved. But at least before I go, I do want to do some good. And when I joined, I wanted to do some good too. Even if I had to do bad shit in the military to make sure that people over here could see the benefits. Keep the ugly a secret and just let people go on about the days, you know? I mean, I'm the type of man who can take on that burden, you know? I ain't a good man. I'm more of a bad man. I ain't never been good. Never. Maybe at times I pretended to be good. But in my heart, maybe I've always been a bad man. The military just gave me a reason and an excuse. Who knows? I don't know. Fuck it, right? But still, you know, seeing stuff like that just made me question a lot of things. And then I went down this rabbit hole of just watching this stuff. Just fuck, man. I just feel for these people. I mean, I don't know what to do. You know, I don't know if there's anything I can do. The only thing I can do and say is spread this to other people who may watch this video. And if you do watch this video, thank you. You know, I mean, fuck liking and subscribing to the channel. If you don't want to, you don't want to. But, you know, if any of this makes goddamn sense, please share it to your friends, to your family, to your loved ones. If you have people that you care for, if you have people that are in a situation like this, because here's the thing too. Like I was talking about before with the person about, you know, defunding like the future of like defunding or cutting cost of this housing the homeless, right? This grant. Because you're giving homeless people hope. And then what you're doing is cutting their hope at the fucking knees, and they ain't never going to trust the system again. Because they're going to be like, the system fucked us. That the system don't give a shit about us. That the system is just some cruel, sick joke. It's just that don't believe in it. Don't believe in the hype. It's all bullshit. There's no type of change that we can do. Now, the documentary that I saw that had the Asian gentleman in it, there was like a band for or a motion in the court. I guess the municipal or circuit court for banning the expansion of raising rent each month. And they won in regards of some areas of LA County will basically have a price ceiling, right? Where they can't, it's a free, is that the farthest that a rental property can go is 3%, right? Over cost or over standard, right? So, but that's some. I mean, yes, it is a win. And the other thing too is that I saw this one lady. This one lady had a daughter, and it was just her. She'd been living in this building for, I believe, 15 years. Living in this building. this apartment building, and she was actually suing the landowners, the people who came in who bought out the previous owners, because they kept on jacking up the price to where it's like, hey, listen, look, it's like this is your I've been living here for 15 years, and basically you're forcing me out. And the problem was, and there was this lawyer who basically said, listen, look, I mean, if the bad thing about the reason why people don't want to take it to court, because it becomes a public record. It goes on your public record forever that you went up against these people and you fucking lost. You not only went up against these people, you went up against these people and you lost. You. And it's public record now. And people don't like that shit. People don't like their stuff out in the open. I know I don't. So, I can understand. Lady did it anyways. She lost. And now, and I felt so bad for her because, her daughter broke my goddamn heart, man, because she was crying. She put on, man, like, you can tell what a real woman and a real mom is because she puts that fucking brave face on, man. She puts on a brave face. You can see, man, she's about to cry. She's about to just fucking break down right in front of her daughter. Putting her little stuffed bunnies in a box. Trying to pick and choose what to take and what not to take, Man, just goddamn breaks your heart. And I just can't believe, man, that, greed is not good. Gordon Gekko, he's a fictitious character. He's, like, not a good person. Have you seen this fucking stupid movie Boiler Room with fucking Vincent, or what the fuck is his name? Giovanni Ribisi and fucking Vin Diesel, and Ben Affleck's in it for a couple of scenes, and all these other fucking young and upcoming dudes. I mean, no, it's not a good movie. Like, it's not a good movie to basically base your life off of. Those characters, like, it's a good movie in the terms of you have great actors acting this fucking way. I mean, it was Wolf of Wall Street before Wolf of Wall Street. These guys idolized fucking Gordon Gekko, and they had fucking Wall Street playing, and they were fucking doing social commentary on the fucking movie while they're acting in it, and repeating lines of Gordon Gekko, and stuff like that. Gordon Gekko's not a good person. Even though they tried to do a sequel and tried to make him a good person, he's not a good person. He's not. He's not a person to idolize. Greed is not good. No matter what fucking some YouTubers say. It's not. Just not. But yeah, so the last thing I'll say is that it makes you think. It makes you ponder. Like me, personally. Is this what I fought 2 war campaigns for? Multiple combat deployments. Medals and all that shit. Wars, fucking schools, patches, badges, whatever the fuck. Is this what I fought for, man? Is this the America I fought for? where I see people that strangers. You know what's fucked up about being a soldier and fighting a war? Because I fought for total strangers. I fought for people who are nice, people who are hateful, people who might be white supremacists, black supremacists, fucking Asian supremacists, people part of the KKK, people part of the Black Panthers, people who are neo Nazis, people who are who are living in America. These are the motherfuckers. These are the strangers that I may have fought a war for. That's some scary shit. It's scary for me. That you have racism, bigotry, and fucking supremacy or supremacist groups who think that they're better than somebody else because the shade of their skin or because they were born a different sex than another or gender, or they believe in them being a masculine gender instead of a feminine gender or whatever. It's scary to think that I fought so these people could have the freedom to think that way, good or bad. That's some scary shit. Or even financially, even if a person thinks that they're financially better than another person, I have a bigotry to that. It's scary to think that, you know, that some people think that it's okay to just be unhealthy and be fat, lazy fucks. Or like, yes, I know about depression. Trust me, I fucking know. Okay. But there's a thing where you got to motivate yourself to get off that fucking crutch and be responsible and accountable for your own fucking actions. But it scares me to think that these are things that I sacrificed, that close friends of mine sacrificed for. Brothers, and not just the brothers in arms, but true brothers, fucking went over with me and had the guts, the balls that, you know, to fucking die for and live for. It scares the fuck out of me, man, that I did this for total strangers that I don't know. Scary. That's all I'm saying. But I would not hesitate to do it again. Because that's the type of person I would. I would do it all over again. I would. Swear to God. You know? I do it again. That's who I am. I don't hate anybody. I try to love everyone that I can. Okay? I've never hated a person because they were different than me, because of the color of the skin or because of their sex or gender or or whatever difference, that we're all fucking human beings. We're all part of the human species. I've never looked at the person. I've never hated a person for being different. I hate people because they got some fucked up shit. Like their morals are like skewed as fuck all, and they ain't contributing to the human race and fuck damn sight good. Like they are like totally don't even want to be a part. I mean, we're talking about like some Charles Manson shit. Okay, some Jeffrey Dahmer shit. Like, yeah, those are the type of motherfuckers I hate. Okay. Those are the motherfuckers that, yeah, just fucking, put them in the fucking firing squad and have at, those type of motherfuckers. And if you need somebody fucking a part of that shit, just look me up. I got you. I don't mind. It's like, those are motherfuckers that, yeah, that need to be fucking, 86th, because they're all full of hate and prejudice and nothing that's good. And but no, I will never dislike a person or hate a person because of the way that they look, or because they're different, or anything like that. Never. I try to love everyone. I do. I really do. The problem is sometimes some people don't deserve love, They just don't deserve it. Or sometimes people just don't deserve your love. So now I'm just ranting, but yeah. But the people in the homelessness people, they do deserve love. They do deserve attention. They do deserve to not be homeless and to have a roof over their head. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. First just food and water, second is shelter. It goes all the way up to fucking 9, and I can't remember all 9 of them. But yeah. Last thing I'll leave off with is that I heard this one news anchor say some bullshit like, this is a first world country in third world problems, or looking like third world problems, or living in third world problems. He said something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but pretty damn close. Let me tell you something. That news anchor was full of shit. Looks like, yeah, it ain't third world. I've been in third world. I know third world. I've been multiple third world. I know third world. America ain't got shit on third world. It may look like it, but third world motherfuckers be dying. That's all I'm gonna say about that. You got a homeless population, well, motherfucker gonna be dying. They're gonna be 2, 1, 2, 3, 5 less fucking homeless that fucking night, or that day, or the next morning, or whatever. Third world. So yeah, it may look like third world. It's not third world. But yeah, there is a significant fucking, there is a big fucking problem, man. Big fucking problem. And I just hope and pray that we can do something about it productively, because it is a human rights action. Because to me, this is what I like to believe that I've fought for. I've fought for everybody. I fought and died. And I would die again. Or I would die overseas to let this happen. for people to obtain that American dream. I would like to think that my sacrifices overseas allowed a person or persons like the homeless to be granted a home, a life, family, friends. I would like to believe that, right? That my sacrifice could do that for me, even if I had to go back overseas, even if I did, you know. And, God forbid I die over there. I would like to believe that my sacrifice allowed for, a homeless family or a homeless person to be granted that opportunity to get housing, to have a better quality of life for themselves, to hopefully be not shunned, but shined in a positive light, have positive reinforcement in their life, and take advantage of that positive reinforcement. And if they were a drug addict or addicted to drugs, that they got clean, that they stay clean for the rest of their life, for the rest of their days, for their wife, child, boyfriend, significant other, a husband, whoever, their family. I would hope that. I would pray for that. Swear to God. I pray for that. If my sacrifice could do that for a total stranger, then fuck, man, I done one good goddamn thing in my life. And that means everything to me. It truly does. But all right, I'm going to get off now because it's been an hour. I wasn't planning on going this long, but yeah, hey, I just had some stuff on my mind and just want to say love to all, God bless, and as always, aloha. Thank you so much.